What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I am coming at you with another little quick brew. But whilst the last 24 hours have happened, those of you who I don't know, are maybe not too into following all the goings on with regards to the Pro Tour and competitive Magic, or you've just been sleeping under a rock. The Pro Tour is on in Amsterdam MagicCon, and it's modern is the format of the constructed portion, and then there's draft in Modern Horizons 3, and it's been actually really fun to watch, honestly, because it has been a big shake-up. The new cards did shake up the format heck of a load. It's almost like a rotation for modern, these Modern Horizons sets. And yeah, so and because I did play a bit of draft and I did play in the early access event for Modern Horizons, I at least know what some of the cards do, and then with the commentary and stuff, I've been thoroughly enjoying watching it. But the most interesting part of the entire MagicCon, as for someone like me who's obsessed with Standard, was the panel that we all knew they would have. And Gavin Verhey, oh, I believe that's how you pronounce his surname, is usually leads these things, and they they talk about coming sets, and we get some spoilers and whatnot. And there was a pretty interesting, like, more heavy focus on the set that's coming after Bloomburrow, Duskmorn Manor or something, this Haunted Mansion set. There was a lot of more information about that than and other things which I'm about to get to, than Bloomburrow, which is the one that's coming soon and that I'm the most interested about. I guess because the beginning of the hype cycle and the whole storyline and everything starts on July 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, which is only a couple of days away as I'm recording this. Maybe they didn't want anything that was said at the panel to kind of overlap with things that are like just about to be said anyway, via more official channels. So who knows? But the most interesting thing to me with regards to what was said, because I ignore all the nonsense about commanders, I'm not a fan, and all the other things that don't pertain to the sets or the formats that I'm interested in. But they did talk a lot about this new thing that's coming in November called, and here I'm going to bring up a little screen. So, boop. Here's Bloomburrow, but they were, and then Duskmorn. I won't touch upon this stuff yet. There's nothing, I'll wait for that. But what really was pretty eye-opening to me was this Foundations, this whole talk about this Foundations thing. These are pretty much just reprints, and they're saying that this is going to be some sort of like think of like a core set in a way, and that this will be a standard legal until 2029. I think it has a lot to do with trying to sort of set up a new foundation for what is going to be the sort of future, let's say 20 years of this game, and how to onboard a bunch of new youngsters and people like ourselves, 30 years ago when we got into Magic, for the next, for the future of the game and everything. And I guess their thinking goes, we create this foundation set, and they'll probably do, I don't know, one every rotation, or I wonder, because the information's very slim. There is an article about it official on the Magic the Gathering website. I'll put links to all this stuff in the description. They said they'll come and let us know more as the lead up to the release of this comes on, but there's it appears to be just sort of like a little bit of all the basic type of effects that you would expect out of certain colors, with a kind of quite controlled level of power, even though, I mean, there's omniscience here, but you know what I mean. A lot of reprints and like staples that are supposed to allow for new players to just like, start from this get a grip of the game and what the different colors are supposed to do and combos of colors and that, and know that whilst they're busy doing that, the cards that they invested their money in to do so aren't just going to be rotating out. They're going to be around for a very long time. And I guess that's a good thing. I'm worried about what that means for the future of Standard going forward. Like, is there a potential chance that they'll make the rotation even longer than it already is, or that, you know, by that I mean, will they allow there to be an even deeper Standard with more sets allowed in than the current skipping of the previous rotation allowed for? Because I'm already at my limit when it comes to, you know, I don't want it to just become another little Explorer, or, you know, just like the beginning of a new format that's too deep, like, which is the reason why I don't like, you know, Explorer and Pioneer and all of these things. So fingers crossed that this is just really just a way of onboarding new people, and giving them some confidence in their you know, investment in cards, and not a sign of what's to come going forward. But without all that doom and gloom, I would like to quickly focus on some of these commons they showed us from Bloomburrow. It's looking more and more like exactly the kind of thing I love. I just hope that, you know, yes, we do lose 4 sets, but there's still some incredibly powerful stuff from what is left, you know, from Dominaria, whatever, Atraxa and whatnot, Domain decks, you know, Shield Red sticks around. Like, there's so much really powerful stuff, and I've been showing how you can make rotation proof versions that are still pretty good, and that'll probably just get better after some of the answers to those cards rotate. I've already heard a video from both Saffron Olive and SBMTG Deb. They had similar thoughts, that they're worried that a set that's all supposed to be like cute and cuddly forest critters and like tribal, you know, card type matters kind of a set is going to be a great, like, you know, draft format, yada yada, but the power level won't be enough for the set to be so impactful as some would hope it would be as the first set after a rotation. But, you know, we could be completely proven wrong. There's been very little shown so far. But I just wanted to touch upon what little has been shown. First of all, Might of the Meek. I've been playing a lot with Mono Red, trying to prepare it for rotation, and the loss of that sorcery speed, I think it's called like anger, eternal anger or something. It you know, it gives trample and it cares about how many are already in the graveyard, and then it draws a card. And there was no more of these like red 1 mana combat tricks that also draw a card. And ta-da, here we go. And the cool thing is we've already got that battle mouse, or raging battle mouse or something from Wilds of Eldraine. That's you know, it's a celebration mechanic. It's a mouse. It decreases cost of the next spell you cast, and beginning of turn gives plus an extra boost or something. And you know, I'm already looking at, it's because the color combination is Boros Mice. We got there's like a legendary 3-drop of that's really cool in Boros colors. That's a mouse that's coming. I'll go to it in a second. I'll click on Bloomburrow. And then we've got that 1-drop from Wilds of Eldraine. That's a 2/1. That's an adventure that also has this little spell that can you know, kind of push through damage. And that's just what they've shown already, and that's already a nice little like 1-2 punch with Might of the Week now, giving a little extra trample and card draw. I think that like Boros Mice might end up actually being really good. I'm super keen to check that out. There's also the what's it called? 3 Blind Mice, the saga that makes mice every turn, and that'll help trigger the celebration. I'm already in the brew tank. The rest of the stuff looks pretty, you know, whatever. It's all just commons, except for this one. I will get to it. It's like, you know, 5 mana, exile, or meh. I mean, it is black enchantment hate, so they need to show it, but it's always, you know, ridiculously overcosted and unplayable, unfortunately. Maybe in, you know, your like your Mind Splice Dimir deck where you have no way of dealing with enchantments, and you just like go for the cost reduction and get this down to 1 black with the Mind Splice. It might actually be pretty interesting. Because I love Dimir Mind Splice, but I always have trouble with enchantments, of course. And yeah, I wish it was enchantments and artifacts, but I don't think they'd break the pie too far. I mean, there's precedence of black destroying enchantments in very badly costed, convoluted ways with downsides and things, but not artifacts. Sun Shower Druid, 1 mana Frog Druid. Look at this drawing, man. It's an 0/2. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature and you gain 1 life. So it could just be a 1 mana 1/2. What? A 1 mana 1/3. It doesn't say on another creature. 1 mana 1/3, gain 1 life. Excuse me? Excuse me? That's bonkers, mate. I think that's ridiculous. Green really needs like some better 1-drop if it's trying to be more aggressive. I don't know if this is very aggressive, but like it's kind of a bit of both. Like, you know, 1 mana 1 anything is already kind of okay, but then like, you know, if you're getting this like in the late game when you're getting hammered by mono red, and now you've got like a 3 toughness blocker and you've just gained a life, and you might be able to like trade up potentially, or you've got some like combat tricks maybe in Gruul. I think that's a pretty sweet little 1-drop, like modified stuff, you know, even though modified's rotating, there's still a lot of like, you know, Gruul +1/+1-y things happening. It's pretty cool. Carrot Cake. Food for 2 mana in white. ETBs. Sack it. Make a 1/1 rabbit. Scry 1. What? When it enters the battlefield? No. Oh yeah, because that's right. This is the first set where enters the battlefield will be forever abbreviated to enters to save space on cards. I think that's genius. So when Carrot Cake enters and when you sacrifice it. So both when you enter and when you sacrifice it. That's pretty ridiculous, man. ETBs make a 1/1. And scry. And then when you sack it, you gain 3 life and make another 1/1. So for a total of 4 mana, you get 3 life, 2 1/1s, and a scry. You know, and a potentially, you know, it's an artifact that definitely is going to matter going forwards. I think that's really nice little comment again. Wow. I guess they're showing like some pretty high value stuff. Here we've got Pearl of Wisdom. I like it. The otters are blue. You know, they stay in rivers. Oh my god. Who of you have read Red Wall? You know, what's it? Brian Jacques? Brian Jacques. I want to stick by that. It's Red Wall Abbey. And, you know, the Tales of Martin the Warrior. This is right up my alley. I can't wait to see what the badges are. I think it was Golgari that are the badges. But anyway, the spell costs 1 less to cast if you control an otter. Draw 2. Yeah, I think Izzet is the otters, because we got already an otter that's Izzet from the... I mean, they obviously... It was much easier to, like, do a little bit of, like, teasing for what's to come in a set like Wilds of Eldraine with the storybook fairy tale setting. It's kind of closer to the little woodland creatures than, you know... freaking... Murders at Karlov Manor and whatnot. So that's almost it. Final card is the only rare that we got to see, Salvation Swan. It's a bird cleric. It's a 4 mana 3/3 with flash and flying. And whenever it or another bird you control enters, which is crazy because we got that other flashing bird recently, that Avan Interrupter, I want to say, and that like plots the thing, and then stuff that is plotted costs more, you know the one I mean. You know, they curve into each other, they both have flash, they both have flying. Like, I think this like blue white flashy flying thing, once like you don't have to dedicate the slot to Wandering Emperor and such things. You just, you know, there's already the merfolk that count, you know, that stifles things. That name I cannot remember now for the life of me. It's a 3/2 with flash. You know, I think it's almost ready. I've been tinkering with that myself as well. This looks pretty good. So another bird, exile up to one target creature you control without flying, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. That's nice. That's nice. You can like do the whole thing where you block and chump, block and sack, but differently in the sense that you can block with Sunning that would die in the battle, but instead of having it die, you flash in the Salvation Swan and exile it and then have it come back with flying, and then the opponent's damage doesn't go through unless they have trample, and you untap with the flyer plus the Swan. That seems pretty legit, man. Amazing little early spoiler from the panel, and I just wanted to quickly touch on what we've already seen from Bloomburrow. I was talking about earlier Mabel here, the heir to Crag Flame. It depends if you can play this on 3. Yes, that line I mentioned earlier, the 1-drop with the adventure 2/1 into the little mouse guy on 2. On 3 you play this guy, they all get +1/+1, or maybe on 3 you hold back Mabel, you do some like combat tricks and stuff. Oh, here's Salvation Swan in another what do they call it, border or whatever. But then the reason why I'm saying this is you can nice curve filler where Mabel can be played on turn 5. So then when she enters the battlefield and you get this Crag Flame, you can also equip it, and then it gets +1/+1 and has Vigilance and Trample and Haste. So then you can attack with Mabel right away, and it gives, not only does that help with the whole celebration thing, that she makes a thing when it enters the battlefield, so it's going to trigger your Battle. There's like a lot going on with this mice thing. I really honestly think it's going to be good. But yeah, that's it. I'm not going to talk too much about the rest. Like the only other thing was to mention how stuff becomes anthropomorphized. So I don't know where the Jace is. I think we just saw some art. It wasn't an actual card, but like Jace has been turned into a fox. Looks really cool. Anyway, that's it. I promise you that I'm done as far as news and announcements, the panel, various spoilers, and now, without further ado, let's jump into tonight's quick brew, and I'm just calling it a Future Filth because it is, of course, mono red post-rotation meta, and this is where I think it's going to lean. I wonder what Bloomburrow will bring, but with what we have now and cutting all of the stuff that's going to rotate, this is my best version of mono red that I could come up with. So still gonna be a little bit focusing on the Goddric thing and using mostly Forge, making a thing and something else being cast as a way to trigger the celebration, as we don't have that godly turn 1 Commander, turn 3 play Goddric, the Commander enters, triggers the Goddric attack for freaking 6 or something. But it's fine. We've also got Monstrous Rage that makes the monster token, the roll token, I beg your pardon, and we get away with having just a bunch of little cheap 1/1 sometimes, like just playing a Phoenix chick, or having a plotted Slickshot and then playing that for free after a Goddric. There's plenty of ways to trigger the celebration on Goddric in this version. I still think at least 2 copies of Witchstalker Frenzy is a good idea for Sheoldred. Case of the Crimson Pulse, I think, needs to become like a 2 of minimum in every red deck, like going forward. You don't have to then think about anything else, like in terms of, okay, I'm going to run like 4 Ren's Resolves or whatever they were called, Reckless Impulse. Now it's Ren's Resolve after rotation, but like between the disguise thing with the Fugitive Codebreaker and Crimson Pulse and the fact that it's mono red, like you're okay. You don't need more than that, and that frees up more spots for things like sneaky, spicy Invasion of Tarkir, which can represent just an additional 4 points of damage to the dome, but depending on the matchup can also be like really nice. This is my like little spice. This is really the most BrewLabby bit about this deck tech, I think. Everything else I don't think would surprise anyone. I mean, ooh, play with fire replaced with shock. Lightning strike still there. Let's see if there's a better removal spell that comes along. But like Monstrous Rage, I think this is kind of stock standard. But the inclusion of these 3 cards, which could honestly be just like, I don't know, another 2-drop, another combat trick, more removal, I don't know. But I think just having that like aerial, you know, potential alt win con, it's been really doing it for me. And there's so many games where you just are flooding a little bit and you're about to scoop, and then you top deck a Shivan Devastator with 5-6 mana on the board and just fireball to the head. I think they deserve to remain in, and I would say this like number, no more, no less. Let's put it to the test, and then we'll see. Maybe we'll append a couple of games depending on how fast, because I do want to keep this, you know, as short as I can, as it is a quick brew. But because it's mono red, the matches are pretty quick. So maybe we can take these out, see what we could put in as alternatives, and play a few more matches, and then call it a night. That's it. Of course, as you know, you can always skip any of the boring me talking stuff that you don't want to listen to, and just skip straight to the gameplay footage, straight to the, you know, the BrewTech. All the timestamps are always down there. Second last day of the season. In the mid-80s, I've been testing all kinds of nonsense. It's been real fun. Like, once I realized, once again, I wouldn't make it into the numbers or anything, I just started playing Mythic and testing all kinds. Only pure rotation-proof stuff, like not even the lands now. I'm even more strict with myself. Oof, it's a tough keep, man. I should learn my lesson. Like, you should never keep this, but the reward is pretty big if you get a second land here. So I'm gonna just freaking, who cares, you know? YOLO. Woo! Monstrous Rage is just so good. This card is bananas. Bananas. The question will be whether you'll play none of these, or this and the other one, the mouse one, depending if you're going to be playing pure mono red, I think, and then just not playing the mouse at all, the battle mouse, or if you're going Boros, mouse, tribal, and then yes. Always lead with the chick. You don't want your Swiftspear to get killed by a cut down. Wow, that's not a card you see every day. Okay. The worst case scenario did happen. Wow. A blood fountain. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, we need mana. I do have 22 in the deck, so 20, I think. It's like really low curve, so we're just getting a little bit bad luck here. And a cut down. And, yeah. Alright, whatever. You have to have at least one match like this every night on camera. And then the algorithm is happy. It's ridiculed you enough. Do you have the cut down, or do you have... are you gonna, you know, cycle a blood token? That is the question. I'm still gonna risk it, because anyway, I'll probably just scoop. It looks like the cut down. No. Aha. And like a forge might have done it, but you know. Like a hodgepodge of all my most hated black cards in one deck, and I'm breaking. Ah. Thanks, Arena. I approve this message. There's always you know, something to learn there. This time I once again like pose the question: is it risky enough to keep a one lander in mono red where you have a lot of one drops? The answer is probably always no. Like I think back to the amount of games I played with mono red to get into Mythic this season at number 17 on the 3rd day, and it was an obscene amount of times that I would lose if I didn't have more than one land. 2 is fine. 3 might be overkill. Aha! Rewarded. Now, does the opponent have the Elspeth Smite? No smite. But that pause made me think maybe there's a hexproof card. So we're just gonna go and plot a bird, as one does, and probably just not swing, because I'm thinking it might be soldiers with a flashy little pair of... No? Wow. Okay, so it's just control and we're screwed. Basically, is what you're trying to tell me here. This is like pre-combat shock, so that if they have the removal, they decide now. Is better than having to cast a Monstrous Rage during combat, because then they'll target the thing that gets targeted by the Monstrous Rage. So now I don't fire off the Monstrous Rage. It's the usual kind of little with control. Because, yeah, here comes the Wandering Emperor, or just a Depop. Alrighty then. Now we try bait the counter spell, or we just wait to have... Okay, so there's at least there's no Wandering Emperor, so we further the damage. Maybe a Get Lost here. Oh, thanks to the 2/2. That's the first time I've had that cast on me. Again, let's go with the sorcery speed pre-combat thing and save the Monstrous Rage for when we can actually try and like trigger a Goddric. He's clearly got the Wandering Emperor, so I really don't know what to do here, honestly. But at least this 2 damage makes up for the 2 life gain that he'll probably have from the Emperor here. Let's get ready with the Sleeping Lady. Oh, man. It's so close to go, and then we'll never have to worry about this crap again. There's another flash threat that they showed from a... Okay. Ooh. Now it could just be, you know, the Sunfall turn. But with a land... One land off the top... We can go Goddric into Rage. Oof. Oh, man. Yeah, Goddric would have been counted, so nice. That's 2 normalized down. Celestus leaves him with 3 mana available. Okay, we have to try. I promise you, mate, you are such an ass. A 3rd normalize. Oh. Might be another March, and he has to discard the last card in hand. And then he's top decking with the... yeah. That's fantastic. So let's go for the shock. Obviously. I'm assuming it's going to be Celeste's time now. Why didn't you keep that in hand so you have something to like, discard? Now you have to discard what you drew. Oh, lol. Oh, lol. Let's see if he tries to cast something. We respond, huh? The minute, you know, Celeste's trigger goes on the stack, that's when we fire it. These are the best moments in a mono-red player's life. You take them when they come, and you just bask in the glory. Because it doesn't happen very often. Oh, hallelujah! Get stuffed! Oh my god, no wondering emperors appeared. We still managed to plow through there. Oh my god. Justice prevails. Justice prevails. Justice prevails. So, but the point of this video, also aside from informing you about spoilers, you know, channel updates, all the usual, little bit of a spicy brew to keep you going through these tough times while we wait for Bloomburrow and rotation. But it's also about proving that, you know, mono red is by no means going anywhere. Yes, Kamano is huge, but it's still really, really potent, and there's so many ways it can be built. I've been working on just like clean old like burn version with mechanized warfare, and there's a new End of Festivities. It's not as good because it doesn't hit planeswalkers, but it does still do opponent and creatures. So nice against Boros, which I think is going to continue to be a threat, because it only really loses the Voldaren Epicure. I mean, there's a lot of things to be happy about. Oh, mate. Really. Fortunately, it doesn't appear to be the white variant, where they just play like a million of these things, and then like blink them with the... Ooh, that's a nice top deck. Not blink them, but like, you know, bring it back to hand with the little berry that becomes a 2/2. Ooh. Ooh. Opponent. Opponent. I think we may just... Ooh. Okay. Oh yes. No, let's keep damaging people here as much as possible. And that way we get to hold our Witchstalker Frenzy, because, you know, Rakdos might be something stupid coming next, like a Shield Red. And then that would just be so sweet. Ooh. Okay. Why, thank you. I'd love to get a celebration trigger and swing for freaking 8 and almost solve my case. This thing is so good for this type of deck, it's not even funny. And now, even if you play your Decadent Dragon, I mean, clearly that's the wrong play, mate. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing, mate? Oh, and an extra attacker to even further reduce the cost of my Stalker Frenzy. In your face. Bye-bye. Off you go. We haven't seen a Shivan Devastator. We did see a Tarkir actually kind of help in that one match there, but we didn't flip it. It's often not the case. You really do have to prioritize going face. Like, the thing is, our removal spells can flip it too, so sometimes I'll like, or you know, you get like one of your forged little terrors to keep going at it, and the rest. So you try to like keep focusing on the opponent, and like you know, you don't want to flip it at sorcery speed at the end of a turn when the opponent just untaps and hits you with the Sunfall. You've just wasted a bunch of damage that could have gone at the opponent to flip a thing that you lost. It's like completely zero value transaction. You need to really know when it's the time to use that card. But just the fact that it does... Ooh, green. No black? I just don't get... I don't understand. So mono green with the dude man. I think we're just gonna go like this here. Baloth. I think we just go for the flying approach here for a second, and then just save our prowess triggers for next turn. This could get pretty gnarly though. That's got reach. Things just got extremely gnarly. So I'm thinking we need to do this first. Discard Goddric. Secondary Birdie. Gives Goddric flying. Swing with all. Wait for blockers and go face. With the rest. And that should precisely do it. I promise you, like, I love beating, like, you know, decks that you shouldn't be able to with decks that, you know what I'm saying. It feels the same way when I'm playing Control and I'm playing against, like, turn one, like, bomb hand aggro guy on the draw. You're just like, and then on the last minute you get that sweeper, you gain a bit of life, turn it around, you know, stabilize, and they scoop. It's like, oh my god, it's just as good. All right, I think this might be the final match of the night. We've gone a little over time than these quick brews are supposed to go, but you know, there was a lot of news and stuff at the beginning of the video, so I just don't feel like we have time to play matches whilst adjusting the list. I'll just stand by my prior statement about the Invasion of Tarkir. I think it's a sweet little 2-of in the future of Red, at least for now. There we go. At least now it looks like we're going to get a chance to showcase it. Oh my god, it's Brownie playing what appears to just be Naya at this point. But if it is Domain, which will be shown by whatever the next card is here, then I don't know. Let's see whether next turn we go face or whether we flip an invasion. I think we're flipping an invasion. Imagine now he just plays like another one, you know, This could just be like, I don't know. I really don't know. A depopulate now. Oh. Oh. Cool. I get it. Thunderball, Thunderball. Everybody loves the Thunderball. But a lockdown, temp lockdown, would just take out everything in one go. And a skull. Is this just it? I think so. Yeah, that's easy. I mean, I don't even need to freaking stress it, honestly. Everybody loves the Thunderball. Thunderball. I could have also gone Lightning Strike plus Stalker's Frenzy at the... whatever. GG's. Alright, guys. I mean, I don't think you need to be more convinced than that. As always, all of my lists are viewable, especially the ones I do well with, on my Untap profile, which is always in the video description down below. So I'm gonna just love you and leave you. I think the filthiest of filthies is still well and truly, you know, gonna be in the meta no matter what. Like, they've printed enough great stuff that is rotation proof that, you know, even though we lose Play with Fire, the, you know, Bloodthirsty Adversary, we're losing Kumano faces Kakazan. The 3-drop slot doesn't lose much of played, right? The Reckless Stormseeker, no one really plays. And the 4-drop slot, which was quite played, the Thundering Raiju, there's no 4-drop slot in red anymore. So the 3-drop slot is still very contested. All of the stuff still stays. We still have the, you know, Mechanized Warfare. We still have Squee. There's Goddric, there's Urabrask Forge. There's so much good 3-drops and the case. So the 3-drop slot is actually the most contested, I would say, in the future of red. But that is my 10 cents. You know, 2-week break. A lot of time focusing on future-proofing things. This is where I'm at with red before the arrival of Bloomburrow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But that is going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you all in the next one with another fresh, quick brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab signing out. Peace, y'all.